Hey guys, I'm Koko. Welcome to my 10 tips for Jon Shafer's At the Gates. As always, with these kinds of videos, there might be spoilers, so consider yourself warned. And now, without further ado, let's begin. I'd like to stress that you don't need to become self-sufficient empire. You don't need to produce everything, every single resource. In fact, it's better and more valuable if you produce a lot of one thing and then sell it at the caravan, because you are not directly trading to other empires. They are not going to try to hoard a certain resource that you might desperately need but won't be able to get, because you're trading with a caravan. All you need is a lot of money, all you need is treasure, and some of the map stars that you're gonna be on will just not have everything you desire. Some might not even have iron around you, so you have to trade for that, even though it's one of the basic components of your empire. Basically, sell surplus and then buy what you need. Speaking of caravans and money, there's more ways to make treasure, to generate treasure, than just selling your surplus materials. You can have trade posts, you can have gold mines, and then further on with some settled professions, you can double the amount your trade posts will produce, and you can always also get different settled professions that will actually just generate treasure from, I don't know, nothing, thin air, but they will make a lot of money. Although these ones are more late game oriented. Also, I would like to say that always, whenever you can, as early as possible, go ahead and upgrade your caravan. You'll not need to spend a lot of treasure on upgrading. I think first upgrade is like just 10 treasure, and next one is 40, and so on. You only need to upgrade it a bit, and it will always have then some of the resources that you might need, and then also bring rare resources at its max level, like steel weapons and steel armor that you will need to outfit your possible legionnaires for the late game army if you go that way. Unlike many other Civ-like games, you only have one city you control. So you best make sure that you use that city's ability to pack up and move. That's how you're gonna be getting all the resources around early on, just packing up, moving. And but just keep in mind that you can only train your clans while you're standing still or while you're unpacked. You can't train anyone while you're moving around, even though it might require you to move further away to get some more important resources. Just, you know, keep in mind what is more important: actually getting that miner out right now, or moving to a new location that you might only be able to gather those resources in 10 turns anyway. So as you move around with your city, you might actually notice that you can only train fishermen or build galleys whenever you are positioned on the edge of a lake or a sea. So that's really important for when you declare a kingdom, because whenever you declare a kingdom, your city will stay wherever it is. You won't be able to pack it up and move anymore. So if you're not on a shore, you will never ever be able to build more galleys or train fishermen in that game anymore. Even though you might have like a ton of fish nearby, if you're not on the shore, well, you won't be able to train them anymore, even though, you know, they're just walking there and starting to fish. But nope, that's not how it works here. When it comes to resource production, you must keep in mind that using hunters, foragers, woodcutters, and other gathering professions will deplete the resource deposits. Now, if you build wood structures on a said resource, you can produce more, but it will still deplete eventually. And whenever it depletes, you can just deconstruct that building and move the clan to some other place where they can construct a new building if they want to. Now, if you build a stone structure, which is the highest tier of the structure, you make that resource then permanent, so it's always going to be there, which is really useful, really important that you do that on important deposits like iron that you might otherwise run out. Or maybe if you have a gold mines produce a lot, so you can do that one. And also for the stone structures, you can then later on add apprentice slots, for which you just need a couple of boards, and those apprentice slots allow a second clan to come there and work there as an apprentice and produce even more resources if you need more. Now, you can't build structures outside of your borders. So early on, you do have to migrate quite a lot to get everything you want in your borders. And whenever you do build a building there, it will actually increase your border range around that resource. So you can put your city next to a resource, build there, and then move a city somewhere else. And that building will still have a couple of tiles around itself. So you have more resources in that range, you can build more there. Now, the exception to that rule that you can't build outside are the watchmen, who can construct watchtowers. And those extend your border range, I think, around the watchtower by 3 tiles in each direction. So it's kind of like a Civ, a city in Civ. And whenever you build that watchtower, you claim the resources in there, and then you can easily go and just deconstruct that tower, and then get your watchmen to sit somewhere else and get some more stuff out there. Or you can always put an apprentice slot on the watchtower and produce some more fame that way with an extra apprentice. Or you can spend weapons to fortify your buildings, and that will also increase the border range if you need that. As you first play the game, you'll see that you only have available the Huns as the first starting civ. Now, if you'd like to unlock more tribes to play as, you either have to ally them in one of your games or conquer them. Now, due to the fact that diplomacy is kind of on the weak side in this game, alliances are kind of harder to achieve. Now, to conquer them, all you need to do is spark one of your troops onto the enemy main camp, main city, and click on capture it. That will unlock the civilization and you'll be able to play it next run. Now, early on, every civ will be much stronger than you are because they already have kind of like established kingdoms. But whenever you reach mid-game and you have a couple of troops and stuff, you'll be on par with them, so that's when you can start doing the fighting and conquering. Whenever you're in the late game and you have Roman troops with steel armor and steel weapons, then you can just basically destroy them easily. Just remember that if you actually want to pillage their buildings, you do need to be at war with a said faction. Now, if you're not actively trying to conquer the neighbors, you don't actually need a big military force until late game. Just a couple of spearmen should be more than enough to clear out any nearby barbarians. And you should clear out any nearby barbarians because they will otherwise go and try to kidnap your unprotected workers out there, just to use them as sex slaves back at their main camp. I totally didn't make that up, that's totally how it happens. Whenever you're going out there trying to conquer neighbors or explore more of the world, you need to pay attention to the supply limit. Now, if you send a big army into the desert in the middle of a hot summer, they will slowly die because of the lack of supply. Basically, they will starve. Their morale goes down, their health goes down whenever they don't have enough supply. It shows on the map when you can see it. Whenever it's missing, you will be able to see that there's supply lacking. You can hover over each tile and it's gonna show you there. So plan your campaigns accordingly. Also, in the middle of the winter when tiles are frozen, same thing. Your people gonna run out of supply. Of course, if it's only one person, they might camp and might have enough to last until the spring comes. But if it's a big army, it might be a problem. Also, keep in mind that if you have a very injured army, you can only heal them back at your main city on that tile. They need to be on that tile, and you need to use oil and cloth to heal them. Now, you're gonna use the same amount of oil and cloth even if they're like slightly injured or very injured. I also wanted to talk about clans. Each clan has 2 traits, and some of them can be pretty bad. If you have a very quarrelsome clan, you might want to consider distancing them away from other clans, not putting them in your main city, but just throw them somewhere to mine iron or something where they won't be able to fight with anyone on the same tile. Now, if you have a clan that has a very good trait that maybe prevents other clans from committing crimes, that would be a good clan to stick it in your main city. So no other clan on that tile will be able to commit crime and the quarrels are gonna be at least lessened. That concludes the tips I had prepared for today. If you have any tips you'd like to share with the community, don't be afraid to leave a comment down below or come discuss it on my Discord. if you're into Let's Plays, I do have a series running right now where I'm playing as the Alemanni. But otherwise, I would like to thank you all for watching. Hope you learned something new. And if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. Click that notification bell to be notified whenever a new video comes up. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.